Yeah, we're good.
It's very late.
We good?
That day though. I just
Huh?
Sanctimonious. Sneak that one in there.
Time 7:01. I call this session the Whitewater Student Government Order. If you're able, please rise alongside me as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wonderful. Thank you all for being here. With that, Madam Clerk, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Senator Janetti,
Present.
Senator Healy,
Present.
Senator Hernandez, Senator Lang,
Present.
Senator Majors,
Present.
Senator Marty,
Present.
Senator Patricus,
Present.
Senator Purnell,
Present.
Senator Reber,
Present.
Senator Reyes,
Present.
Senator Richardson,
Present.
Senator Strauss-Handel, Senator Thompson,
Present.
Senator Vanderhyde, Senator Wheaton,
Present.
Peter Wilson.
Present. Wonderful. And with that, we are on to special orders, starting with item A, the Senate oath of office. If you were elected to a Senate seat 2 weeks ago, please join me up front for the Senate oath of office. I'm actually going to meander around for this. Congratulations. Given you have been chosen by the students by the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater as a senator on this student government, understanding that you have been chosen to perform such an active and important role, do you accept the position of senator and all the responsibilities, duties, and privileges that it will include? If so, say, "I will to the best of my ability."
I will to the best of my ability.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Thomas,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to fulfill the obligations and responsibilities of my office,
to fulfill the obligations and responsibilities of my office,
to be knowledgeable of
to be knowledgeable of
and uphold the WSG Constitution,
and uphold the WSG Constitution,
the WSG standing rules,
the WSG standing rules,
and university policy
and university policy
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. It is my pleasure to introduce you all to the newest senator of the Whitewater Student Government. Wonderful. Thank you. All righty, folks. And with that, we are on to the appointment of 2 Drumlin District seats. Is there anyone in the gathering tonight interested in running for a Drumlin District seat? Wonderful. Thank you very much, sir. If you could stand and walk toward the podium. As you get there, could you please recite your, or you're going to want to probably cut around over there, sir. You're going to want to, there we go. And if you could recite your first and last name to the President and Vice President so they can type it down.
Joshua
What's your last name?
Warner, Woerner. Josh.
All right. Thank you so much for joining. Could you pronounce that for us?
Warner.
Warner, wonderful. Thank you very much, Mr. Warner, for joining us. If you could, please tell us your name, your major, and a little bit about why you want to be the next Drumlin District Senator of the Whitewater Student Government. You'll have 3 minutes starting from when you begin. Afterward, we'll move into a questioning period. Time starts when you begin to speak.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Joshua Warner, and I am a sophomore. My major is German, minor French, and poli-sci. I'm interested in running for Drumlin seat because I think that the Drumlin area needs a lot more representation, and we need people in this office to try and represent the needs of the students there, and to try to benefit the students of the entirety of our campus with more representation and more influence from them especially, but also to give them a voice where right now they don't necessarily have one.
Wonderful, thank you very much. With that, we'll move to questions. Are there any questions, Senator Martin?
Do you have a plan to communicate to the members of the Drumlin District seat? Meaning, go up to the dining halls, approaching the people to make sure that you do what you mentioned in your speech?
Yes, I actually intend to do kind of like what the recruiters do in there, is try to get to talk to people a lot more in person, to try to engage of what their concerns are, what their issues are with the, like, let's say the food or the general conditions on campus, and try to gauge what their opinions are of the overall situation that's going on in their personal lives. Because let's be honest, as students, we have many different problems coming from many different spots. And it's a good thing to get multiple different perspectives on those issues. So I think talking to people personally will definitely help me gauge to help the students of this campus way better than if I were to just stand there.
Any other questions? Going once? Senator Reed?
You mentioned how the Drumlin district specifically is underrepresented and there needs to be more voices and representation from it. Give me an example of what's being undercommunicated, what's not being represented in the Drumlin district.
Well, I would say in terms of the food, a lot of the Drumlin area in terms of food and like quality of the food has been very much not talked about. I've had students and friends of mine who've come to me and talked about this many different times and said, well, we've had stomach issues, we've had food that comes out with less than good quality, let's just say. And not only just the food, what about the housing situation? What about this? What about when students come in and they don't have rooms and they have no person to come and talk to? And also just the general information. A lot of the students around campus don't know that their voices are being heard in WSG. Half of them don't even understand what WSG does. Another half of them don't understand what's going on. They feel unrepresented, they feel out of place. It's like they're in this void where they don't understand what's going on and they don't know how to fix it. So I see to make that problem essentially fixed by putting a middleman and saying, I am here to help you, but we are here to help you. So give us the information, talk to us. They don't talk to us, they don't come out, they don't want to get involved. You can see how many seats that you need to fill. This place is not exactly overflowing. So we need to start engaging with the students. We need to start getting our representation out there. And a lot of the people in the Drumlin area, I feel that information gap. So my personal goal is to try and wage that gap and try to make sure that WSG can get more of a presence on campus and to help the Drumlin area and just the campus as a whole with that issue.
Senator Genetti?
We've talked a lot about outreach and sort of taking a more assertive role on campus. How, in one word, how would you describe your leadership style in the block?
Assertive, I would say. Trying to keep things engaged, trying to keep people involved, trying to make sure that everyone is working to their best ability, trying to make sure that WSG is working for the interests of the students, not for the interest of itself, not for the interest of the chancellor, but for the interest of the people who live on this place. And also just making sure that the entirety of the campus knows that we're here. We are a representation of them. Their needs are our needs, their wants are our wants, and what they want and what more on some terms is cheaper things, better food quality, better housing conditions, focusing on what they want is my goal. And assertiveness will benefit us a lot more than just sitting there and saying, I am the guy that moves. And they have no voice because they have no representation because they know nothing about this place. They know not of what's going on in this building. They know not of what's going on. And even if we post emails, 10 times out of 10, they're not reading those emails. So we need to try and get ourselves out there, and assertiveness and assertive governance will certainly help in that way.
Senator Thompson?
So you're saying more assertiveness. What is there a plan? Any ideas? Because we can't force people to read emails.
Oh,
so do you have
goodness.
any suggestions?
I would say more advertising. I would say putting more signs up. And I would say getting all of us out there a lot more, talking to people personally and in groups. Let's say like what Isaiah was doing, talking to people, setting up a table, interacting with the campus directly. And that is what is important, is gauging information with each other and getting ourselves out there, advertising, signs, doing little events, something that gets us out there other than just being the government of the campus. We can be the campus. That is the goal. And I hope that works. If I am willing to interpretation, I am willing to understand different viewpoints. If there's anyone else that has other options and different possibilities, I am completely open to that. But that's essentially my first off plan.
We'll do one more. Senator Gibbs?
So say a constituent comes up to you and asks you what WSG is and how you make actual change within the student body, how would you respond?
Well, I would say that WSG is a representative body that when there is a concern, you come and talk to a representative. The representative goes in and tries to make a bill or a piece of legislation that will help with that problem or situation. This isn't like Congress where you're literally drafting hundreds of thousands of pages of bills. But I would say to them that we are kind of that middleman to get that through to that legislation that the president ultimately will sign off on and the chancellor will eventually also sign off on. So I would say we are the middleman to get the message out there that your problems are being heard and we will get them fixed with the full support of you and the full might of what we're able to do. And all of our time will be focused on that issue and issues also revolving around the campus as well.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, sir. With that, you can take a seat in the gallery and we'll move into a roll call vote. A vote of aye will be a vote in favor of the candidate. A vote of nay will be a vote against. Everybody good? Wonderful. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, please call the roll.
Senator Janetti.
Aye.
Senator Healy.
Aye.
Senator Hernandez.
Aye.
Senator Kiwu.
Aye.
Senator Lang.
Nay.
Senator Majors.
Nay.
Senator Marty.
Aye.
Senator Patricus.
Aye.
Senator Purnell.
Aye.
Senator Reber. Senator Reyes.
Aye.
Senator Richardson.
Aye.
Senator Schrockmandel. Senator Thompson.
Nay.
Senator Vanderhyde.
Aye.
Senator Whedon.
Nay.
Speaker Wilson.
Aye. Wonderful. In a vote of 11 to 5, congratulations to the most newly appointed senator of Whitewater City Government. If you could please stay till after the meeting. I'll tell you a few things that you're going to have to complete before next week, and then you can take your oath. Wonderful. Thank you very much. With that, we'll move on to the appointment of 6 off-campus district seats. Is there anyone in the gallery tonight interested in running for an off-campus district seat? Hello, sir. If you could, please recite your first and last name to the President and Vice President. Alrighty, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. If you could please, how do you pronounce your last name?
Coleman.
Coleman, thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Coleman. You'll have 3 minutes, I'm so sorry. You'll have 3 minutes to tell us a little bit about your name, your major, why you want to be the next senator of the Whitewater Student Government, and we'll move into a questioning period. Your time will begin when you begin to speak.
Thank you. Greetings, everyone. I'm Ryan Coleman. I'm a higher education leadership grad student. And to be as concise as possible, I have projects I am aiming to complete this semester that are aiming to unify the community of Whitewater, both on and off campus. And I believe that serving in this role will help to contribute and broaden the access of these projects. Also, my experience in administration in the higher education field, I believe will serve to be a bountiful asset to you all at WSG. Thank you, and I'll move forward to questions.
Wonderful, thank you very much. That will move into questions. Any questions? Go with Deputy Speaker Peters.
What are their leadership roles? How do you know that you currently on and off campus?
Currently, I am a graduate coordinator for the McNair Scholars. I am going to be emceeing the Way Up Retreat Conference, so that will connect me to the broader Wisconsin area. And in the past, I have served as a city councilman, a vice president of the Black Student Union, the Brother to Brother Project coordinator and president, and community service roles.
Any other questions? Senator Martin?
Within all this busy schedule and all these broad roles that you have been participating in, how will you make sure that you make the student government time? Because we have to always attend meetings and always be there and always be attentive. So what would be your process of making sure you show up to committee meetings and things like that and do the honest work?
So, serving with McNair is an honor to me.
Yep.
And with that comes, as a graduate coordinator, the ability to serve students in capacities both in the office and where I may find them on campus. So by contributing my time and my services to you during these meetings, I'm also able to help and bring it into the TRIO and EOC community.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Parliamentarian Purnell?
Why are you choosing to run for appointment now, and what obstacles, if any, have you faced in not fully getting appointed?
Now, I feel that I have overcome my challenges in the past of not quite understanding the full lengths that I can go to get signatures. So now that I'm able to, also excuse me, the past circumstances, especially the last meeting with, it was a winter storm and then spring break and also just various other circumstances. But now is the time that I see that the things that I'm doing, they're in motion and I want to get them done.
Any other questions going once? Senator Reyes?
If you were a tool in a toolbox, what tool would you be?
Power drill. Straight to the point, efficient, concise.
Any other questions going once, going twice? I don't got any. So thank you very much. If you could take a seat in the gallery, we will move into a roll call vote. A vote of aye will be a vote in favor of the candidate. A vote of nay will be a vote against. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Senator Gile,
Nay.
Senator Hernandez,
Aye.
Senator Q,
Aye.
Senator Lang,
Aye.
Senator Matrix,
Nay.
Senator Marty,
Aye.
Senator Trutis,
Aye.
Senator Purnell,
Aye.
Senator Reaver,
Aye.
Senator Reyes,
Aye.
Senator Richardson,
Aye.
Senator Schrockman, Senator Thompson,
Aye.
Senator Vanderhyde,
Aye.
Senator Wheaton,
Nay.
Senator Janetti,
Aye.
Speaker Wilson.
Aye. In a vote of 11 to 3, congratulations to the most newly appointed senator of the Whitewater Student Government. I said 12, it is 13 to 3. I said 11. I said 11, it's 13. There we go. With that, we are on to appointment of 2 Rock County district seats. Is there anyone in the gallery tonight interested in running for a Rock County district seat? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we are on to guest speakers, of which we have none for tonight. So we're on to the approval of the agenda and minutes, starting with the minutes from March 9th, 2026. Can I have a motion to approve? Senator Trump?
Motion approved.
Seconded by Senator Janae. Wonderful. With that, we are on. Can I get a voice vote?
Acclamation.
Any opposed? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none. With that, the minutes from March 9th, 2026 have been approved unanimously. So we're on to the agenda for tonight, March 30th, 2026. Can we get a motion to approve? Senator Lang?
Motion to amend the agenda, section 8B5, remove student affairs, as there will be no student affairs reports.
I would ask for unanimous consent to make that change. Any opposed? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none. So with that, we're looking for motion for approval on the agenda for March 30th, 2026. Any motion to approve? Senator Lang?
Motion to approve.
Seconded by Senator Heath. Can I get a voice vote? Any
Acclamation.
opposed? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, the agenda for March 30th, 2026 has been approved unanimously. So we're on to student issues and concerns. Are there any student issues and concerns in the gallery tonight? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none, wonderful. We're going to move slightly out of order. And we're going to go to new business. And we're going to go to the first item of new business. Item A, WSG, Senate one-year SUFAC appointment, approval request. That's me. And the folk who will be joining me up there is Senator Janet. So I'm passing the gavel to Deputy Speaker Peters.
Run the appointment of CPAC, on your appointment. You just said that, but Speaker Wilson and Senator Giannetti, you have the floor whenever you're ready.
So about a
You spelled it out, so sorry.
yeah, I can. About a week ago. Yeah, much better. About a week ago, I received an email in my inbox from the SUFAC chair, SUFAC Chair Patricus, requesting a WSG Senate appointment. We do this every year. And upon asking, engaging for some interest, Senator Giannetti popped out and showed some clear interest and picked because of his, I think, particular diligence, care for asking, want for the role. I think it's important that we have good folks on SUFAC so that when the SUFAC recommendations eventually come in front of us, those folks have taken some time, they've thought about it, and even back in fall, Gabe was a pretty big part of asking questions and moving that meeting along, and we were just across the hall there for that meeting. So I'll let Gabe say a few words if he has any, but otherwise, we'll move right on.
Really just that I'm excited to learn, and I'm also excited to be able to contribute to this.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much. We yield.
Awesome. We'll go into questions. I will take the first one to Senator Giannetti. What does SUFAC is an acronym? What does it stand for?
Mine goes blank. Segregated University Fees Allocation Committee.
Way better than I did 3 years ago.
What was your answer?
I don't remember,
He
but
didn't finish.
Student, I think?
I think Justin started whispering in my ear. I think that's what happened.
Any other questions? Senator Lang?
SUFAC has to be incredibly nonpartisan throughout the entire process. So how are you prepared to make sure that you stay nonpartisan as a member of several student boards?
Well, I think when we're dealing with certain circumstances, when, say, I'm part of the Model United Nations Club, when we're dealing with sort of that, I would recuse myself from the deliberations on whether or not the budget should be approved. I mean, I am the treasurer of that organization, so that is a slight conflict of interest. So I would recuse myself in those instances.
Senator Martin?
As SUFAC chair, how would you do the math equations and understand the money so every dollar is used to its fullest within clubs, making sure that clubs, and when clubs are advocating for their arguments, what would that process entail for making sure that they have, that the club can function at a stable pace or stably?
That's a great question. I will let Gabe handle the how is he going to be a good steward of student dollars question. But for those who have interest in SUFAC, no math equations, really.
Oh.
Not a lot of math equations, if we're being honest.
Computer doesn't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Our little advisor.
we have
who uses
great
computer.
we have great budget interns. We have a chair who you know is decent enough at it when it comes down to brass tacks. And math, that is, he's a great chair in all other respects, but you know. So yeah, not a lot of math involved, not a lot of actual physical equation doing. So don't worry about that. But in terms of stewardship, I'll get the answer.
I mean, SUFAC has a wealth of different sort of rules and how fees can be allocated. So I would defer to those and sort of evaluate whether or not the budgets which the various clubs present actually follow them. And obviously, I think something that I intend on doing is sort of making sure that more clubs know those so they can give more accurate budgets that, you know, ideally more stuff can be approved. I would sort of go with that.
Senator Gila?
Why are you the best candidate for this position? Like, what's your X factor?
My X factor.
Can I start? Because I don't think I think Gabe is a humble guy. I don't think he's going to say his X factor. Maybe he will, but I'm going to steal his thunder if he is. I think particularly like an eagerness and like there's a quiet ambition here that I really appreciate, and I think you know, in past, like assuredly when I was appointed to SUFAC, I had a very loud ambition, and sometimes loud ambition gets somebody up here who doesn't know what SUFAC means, like me 3 years ago. But I think it's sort of a quiet, poised ambition is the X factor I see in Gabe, and I appointed him after all, so I guess it's one of my shoulders and his. But Gabe, if you have a second X factor.
I think we'll just stick with
Okay, okay, poised ambition.
I'll allow 2 more questions. I see Senator Lang. 1.
What % fee increase would you like to see next year?
Well, I think, I mean, the ideal answer obviously would be, you know, the lowest possible for the students. However, we have to factor in, you know, that, you know, these orgs, they need more money. If we just halted everything and then we just moved it on to next year, it would be an objective loss in overall funds for these orgs. So in terms of that, I would have to consult, I would have to look at what we're currently doing, what we can feasibly do, and then create a number out.
Senator Marty, last question.
From doing all this and being in an organization myself, SUFAC has really helped out the organization so we can do all these cool things that the org has to do and fulfill the organization's mission. Will that be a big debate whether whether they get the requested amount of funds the org needs within from you cheering SUFAC, and how would you moderate it if the debate is like more complicated, so like that?
So
I mean like hot.
Yeah. If you said chair in there, so I just want to make sure that the appointment I'm making right now is not appointing Gabe to chair SUFAC. I am appointing Gabe to be a member of SUFAC.
I mean, member of SUFAC.
If debates get hot, I'm sure he can handle it, but I'll let him. I just want to make clear he's not being appointed to chair.
Well, I suppose I didn't really understand. Are you talking about
like basically when there's a disagreement?
When there's a disagreement, well, I think, you know, I'm a big believer in, you know, that cooler heads will always prevail. And I think when there are disagreements, the best way to handle it is not to get fired, you know, stay calm, sort of, okay, what's the disagreement, and sort of work around that to see, hey, is there a compromise there, which there usually is.
Well, we have our final question. I will ask one kind of question. What are you doing tomorrow at 3:30?
Nothing. I have a window.
Well, kind of advertising for you all. SUFAC is meeting tomorrow at 3:30. It's an open meeting, of course. You're all welcome to attend. UC 127. All right. With that, we're going to a roll call vote. One of I is to appoint Gabriel Giannetti to SUFAC. Vote nay. Not. I'm confused with that. Everyone got it? All right. Madam Clerk, whenever you're ready, please call the roll.
Senator Hernandez. Aye. Senator Hewitt.
Aye.
Senator Lang.
Nay.
Senator Major,
Aye.
Senator Marty,
Aye.
Senator Rodriguez,
Aye.
Senator Canal,
Aye.
Senator Reber,
Aye.
Senator Reyes,
Aye.
Senator Richardson, Senator Thompson,
Aye.
Senator Vanderhyde,
Aye.
Senator Wheaton,
Aye.
Senator Janetti,
Aye.
Senator Healy,
Aye.
Speaker Wilson.
Aye.
I vote 15 to 1. I want to congratulate Senator Giannetti on being the newest appointed CFAC. Anything else we can to Speaker Wilson?
Wonderful. With that, we are back into reports, I guess I should say. And we're going to start with external committee reports. We'll start with the Chancellor's Committee and LGBTQ plus inclusive excellence. On the turn for now, whenever you're ready, you have the floor.
Good evening. Chancellor's Committee on LGBTQ plus inclusive excellence met 2:30 p.m. on March 11th. We discussed the P.B. Portman Award, which has been decided and will be given, or has been given, at the State of the University address. We unfortunately have not met since then, when this report was supposed to be given. But we also discussed the work that has been done regarding the safer zone trainings. These cover the basics of LGBTQ plus identities, such as gender and sexuality, pronoun use, and personal privilege. There are also many upcoming events to promote, such as Impact's annual drag show on April 9th. This is their largest fundraising event and is a lot of fun if you can attend. Nominations for the Rainbow Celebration of Excellence will open soon, and the actual event will be held April 30th. There is a LGBTQ plus legal resources event on April 15th. This event will go over bureaucracy such as legal name changes and driver's license changes. Finally, a concern was brought up that there was no Chancellor's Committee on Inclusive Excellence to tackle race-specific issues, instead being delegated to a subcommittee. The committee decided to take no action on this concern at the moment and is waiting for further information.
Any questions? I've got one to start. Could you tell me more about the subcommittee discussion?
Sure. So it was brought up as a concern that while there is so the Chancellor has a number of committees, including Inclusive Excellence committees. And the sort of pyramid as it goes Inclusive Excellence, and then the subcommittees underneath that, the committees underneath that. And included in the Inclusive Excellence committees are committees such as the LGBTQ plus Inclusive Excellence Committee and the Veteran Services Inclusive Excellence Committee. It was a concern that was raised by a member of our committee that there was no committee, Inclusive Excellence Committee, that was delegated to focus on race-specific issues. Instead, the Chancellor has elected to create a subcommittee of the Inclusive Excellence Committee to tackle such issues. The committee sort of discussed it since we are a Inclusive Excellence Committee, and it was a concern that was brought up, but people are sort of doing more research into why that decision was made.
Thank you. Any other questions? Going once? Senator Martin?
What type of issues or solutions are you going to tackle with the subcommittee, or what are some ideas going about?
So the subcommittee is not under the LGBTQ plus inclusive excellence. It is under just the inclusive excellence committee, which I believe our current appointment is Orange Smith to them. So that would be a question for either him or anyone else on that committee.
Any other questions going once? Going twice, seeing none, with that, we're walking down anybody. Elaine, whenever you're ready, go to the floor, my friend.
Alrighty, so on March 11th, the Warhawk Dining Advisory Committee met. We went over some general updates regarding dining across campus. A notable change is that now when you order food from the Dub, you can get onions or onion rings or cheese curds in the meal deal instead of just French fries. Huge win. We then discussed the NACFS survey, which is a third-party dining survey, which is our big focus for March and the first 2 weeks of April. It closes April 10th, so if you have not taken that yet, please take it. It's very simple, very short. Pass it along to anybody that you know hasn't taken it. We're trying to get as many responses as possible. Lastly, the food trailer will be starting up again May 5th with a kickoff event, partnering with different groups across campus. I believe Campus PD, we might be doing something, and housing as well. And with that, we close the meeting. I will.
Any questions? Senator Martin?
I know that Josh explained that there was concerns from the Drummond area about dining. And I've been also getting a lot of dining is the most concern I have through it. So as a dishwasher myself, how would what are some ideas or some cooking styles to make sure that the food is going to be safe to eat and that staff can handle those changes from the execution of the food?
Immediately, if students see a concern, we're really pressing the text to chat feature. There's a different text number for each of the major dining halls. So Drumlin has its own number, Esker has its own number, and then there's a kind of a general number for all of the dining locations inside the UC. That goes directly to dining management, so all of the managers will get a text, and then wherever the specific building is, it'll be sent to the team manager there, and then it's immediately investigated.
Yeah, as it relates to safety, the food is checked very frequently to make sure it's in proper temperature. Not only is it cooked all the way, but is it staying warm enough in the hot box and things like that. If something does fall through the cracks, that's when it should be sent to the text chat number. But typically, if food is not the right temperature, it's pulled off the line. As it relates to cooking styles or types of meals, that's why it's very important to take the NACFS survey. That's how dining can know. That's a fantastic way that you and your constituents can communicate directly with dining what you want to see. That would be my recommendation to you as a senator and as a student.
Yeah. Dr. Rosquist, if you have something like that?
Yeah, if you have any trouble accessing any of those resources, feel free to reach out to myself, or I'm sure Director Turner would be willing to help kind of navigate any of those reporting systems, because those truly are what is able to help make change. So, like I said, I'm more than willing to be a resource if needed.
Any questions going once? Speaker
The biggest change you mentioned, which is the onion rings and the cheese curds. Do you get a smaller portion, or is it the same portion fries? Did you mention that?
I'm going to yield to Senator.
It's gonna be 2.5 ounces. The regular portion is 4 ounces.
Of fries? Or?
It's adjusted. Both of them, they adjust them to 2.5, and they change it on the labels in the mobile ordering app. So it shows you normal portions 4 ounces, and then the additional with the meal is 2.5.
You see the videos head now, from the majors. Director Roscoe?
Yeah, this is something that Student Affairs kind of worked with as well to kind of make that happen. And I will say, to my understanding and to everyone I worked with's understanding, it is the same price point. It's just on a smaller scale to go with that side, you know. So, sorry, I think
Normally, I can check, but it was originally when they first changed it and they added it, so you could add it. Was $1 more than the fries?
Sorry, I misspoke. Let me.
Okay.
So, basically it's the same price per ounce, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're not paying for the full portion if you don't want the full portion, and you can like sub it out. So it just gives students more options, even though it is a little bit of an additional.
No, it isn't.
President Bradley?
If you were to substitute cheese curds or onion rings for, instead of French fries, you would receive the same amount of fries you would have received, the same amount of onion rings or curds as you would have received fries. It is different in weight than if you were to order just a side of fries, or just a side of onion rings, or just a side of curds.
I have a question. Does the price remain the same?
No.
No.
Per
Onion
ounce
rings are
it
extra
remains
$1,
the
cheese curds are extra $2.
per ounce.
I have another question. Is per ounce price staying the same messaging we're going with?
I've never heard that.
I thought it makes it confusing.
The ordering piece itself is 2.5 ounces regardless, so it's 2.5 ounces fries, nuggets, rings or curds, but the price goes up as the cost of the product.
So we
If it makes it more easy to understand, a normal 4-ounce portion of fries is $4. Adding it to your meal is $1. If onion rings is $6, adding it to your meal will be $2.
Somehow that did not make it easier to
Stop calling
understand for me, but that's fine. Too bad we have the computer do the math. Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Senator Lang. With that, we're on to internal committee reports, starting with Academic Affairs.
I can't.
You doing it?
You want me to go there?
No, you go wherever you want to go.
Worried about the French fries.
Director Gross, whenever you're ready, you have the floor.
So Academic Affairs Committees met last week, Thursday, on the 19th. At 7 p.m. there we discussed kind of two committee works. One, which is the Dear New Advisor letter. So some members are still working on that. And then we just talked about the instructor award, the kind of overview. Each committee member was given a award or two to go over, look at all the nominations. We had a total, I believe, of 97 nominations to go through. So they had to go sort through all that, find the top 4 in each category, which we will be reviewing tomorrow. With that, I yield.
Any questions? Going once? Any questions? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on to communications.
That's me.
All right. I will stand. I like the fan over here, so I'm not moving across the room. It's a bit warm in this area. So communications met today at 2 p.m. We discussed our committee assignment, which was to send our lovely director of communications some ideas about posts, video ideas, and graphic ideas. Our assignment for the next week is to continue working on that. We are also starting to work on the It's On Us brainstorming as well. We adjourned at 2:15, so it was a very brief meeting as per the very nice day out. And that's all I have, so I yield to questions.
Any questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on to elections.
Elections met a few times before break. We had the debate, the ballot counting, and the results will be up for approval later in this meeting. What do you?
Any questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on to elections engagement.
Okay, can I give it from here?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay, so the elections committee, the elections engagement committee met the week before break on Wednesday. We started by electing our chairman, Nick Rodriguez, followed by the election of our vice chairman, Jordan Brunel, and then finally our secretary, myself. We then moved on to business, briefly discussing the launch of the new Warhawks Vote website. And additionally, we discussed what we'll be doing with the social media and communications coordination. We ended the meeting with talking about needing volunteers for election day and also outreach events. And then later that week, we did get a chance to do some tabling, getting the students registered for voting.
Any questions? Conservative Deputy Speaker Patrice.
If you're looking to volunteer for the election, I need people to table this week and on election day. Or not, election day, not table, but election support people. I need help.
Any other questions? Going once? Senator Rangers.
You mentioned a new website, is that still at the same domain address as the old one?
Yes.
Is there like a place that we can sign up to volunteer?
I can send like a board management.
Just tell me when I'll add them to the sign sheets.
President Brennan?
Does tabling or volunteering at the election count as an office hour or outreach event or anything?
It counts as an outreach event, or if you'd like it to count as your office hour, we can also make that happen. Not both.
Any?
Not
Goodbye, sorry.
The link to sign up is tinyurl.com/election-help. And I can make sure that that's in the minutes. But that'll take you to a Google Doc that you can sign up in. I went easier with Google instead of building the sign up. So that doesn't include your additional tabling, but it could, like if you want to add it to it, because there's editing rights.
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none. Wonderful. With that, under officer reports, we're going to go to the report of our president, Douglas Allen Bradley III. If you have a device in front of you, or you decided to print off the report, you can take a look now. And we'll give a couple seconds for everyone to peruse. I know the first one takes a second for people to get reports up. Wonderful. With that, we'll move into questions for President Bradley. Are there any questions? Deputy Speaker Trees?
You mentioned USC. What's that acronym for?
University Staff Council. It's one of the 4 shared governance groups.
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none. Wonderful. With that, we'll move into the report of our Vice President and Riser. Let you scroll and take a look now. Any questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none? And with that, we'll move to the report of our WSG advisor, Kim Clarkson.
I've been working on just assisting everybody else, reserving rooms for next year for student government meetings. Reminder about Involvement Awards ceremony on May 1st, and signing up for Make a Difference Day. And with that, I yield.
Any questions? Going once? Senator Martin?
How do you sign up for Make a Difference Day?
Emails will be going out to students later on this week, and there will be a link to choose the project that you can do. And first come, first serve, and there are lots of students who need service hours, so I would go get in there fast when it does open.
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none. Wonderful. With that, we are on to e-board reports, starting with the report of our Director of Academic Affairs, Olivia Gross. I'll give you a second to take a look at that. Any questions? Deputy Speaker Patrice.
Sorry, we live in a world of acronyms, and you've got a couple in here. CSD, GERC, UCC. You describe what those are.
Yeah, so CSD is the Center of Students with Disabilities. GERC is the General Education Review Committee. And then UCC is the University Review.
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none. Wonderful. With that, we're on to our student affairs reports. We'll do them in bulk. Take a look at both. Any questions for our student affairs team? Going once? Senator Richardson?
So have you already assigned people for the Greek Life Ad Hoc Committee?
Yeah, so It wasn't necessarily an assignment, it was an appointment by the chapter, so I reached out to the chapter presidents and they were given the option to turn in like a rep if they would like. Some chapters did not submit a rep. I will not be like this including them. Their president will just be attached to that. So, yep.
Are you able to share how many chapters did not submit appointments or?
I believe 12 did not. So it was about half submitted, half didn't. Not quite, but roughly.
Any other questions? Once, and twice, seeing none, with that, we're on to communications. Give you a second to take a look there. Any questions going once and twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, one of the report of our WSG clerk, say yes. I'll give you a second to take a look there. Any questions, Deputy Speaker Patrice?
You mentioned RAC, RSC was
Records and archives.
Any other questions? Once? Or twice? Seeing none? With that, we are on the report of our Senate parliamentarian, Gordon Burnell.
All right. So we haven't met in a minute. I put everything in italics are the things that were I put in my report last week. So I'm just going to skip over that. I'm going to be making back the report from 2 weeks ago. But before spring break, I had academic affairs and the elections committee. I met with Lit, and I did some more Robert's Rules and open meeting law research. Did you know that is that if you change your mind on how you voted, it might not be too late to change how you voted. If the vote has not been called yet, a voting member has the right to change their vote on any public vote. As long as it hasn't been called, you just have to say speaker or get the speaker's attention or chair or whomever, get their attention before they call the vote. Say, hey, I want to change my vote to be this instead of this. And that's that. If you wish to change your vote after the results have been called, you can still do that, but it does require unanimous consent from the body. Additionally, the first outreach event is due on April 5th. That's coming up real fast, people. Come on. That is 1 week-ish. Sunday. Folks, that is coming up real quick. Failing to complete a outreach event on time without talking with me first is an unexcused absence, and I will be talking with our deputy speaker about that. Any senator who has been sworn in today or within the next however long until the end of the semester, you are exempted from doing all outreach events. I said 3 weeks, and seeing as we have not met in 3 weeks, you got lucky. You don't have to do any outreach events. Please, feel free to reach out with any concerns, and I yield to questions.
Any questions? If you'd still like to do an outreach, if an outreach event is just clawing at your heart, you know to reach out.
Okay.
Any other questions? Senator Richardson?
Is there anything you need to like complete on our behalf after doing an outreach on that, like a form or something?
Just talk to me. I'll send you an email.
Any other questions going on? Senator Riegel?
And then the outreach events, it'll go April 5th, and then it's the next week, and then the next week, correct? That they're all due?
Correct. I believe it is a Sunday, then a Monday, then a Monday. That is my mistake, but I sent out the dates and I am not going to change them.
Any other questions going once? Going twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, on to the report of our Deputy Speaker, Nick Patrice.
Happy Monday, everyone. Sorry, it's just been too long. I want to thank you all 4 referendums that we approved as a body to go to the student body were approved. They need to be confirmed tonight, but thank you all for voting for that. I have 2 bills up tonight. Thank you to everyone who has supported Senator Lang, Senator Gielich, Congressman Cornell, have been exceptional and helpful with those. I have one I did over the last 3 weeks. Carrie can look at it. This week, Communications Committee was today, Cabinet. I have a meeting on Friday to look at second fee policy. And then SUFAC is tomorrow. Okay, yeah. SUFAC is tomorrow. Tomorrow at 3:30 in UC 127. It's an open meeting. I encourage you all to go. That's all.
Any questions? Once? Going twice? Seeing none. With that one in my report, and I've prepared some words, if that's okay with all of you. And I'm gonna stand, and I'm gonna stand up here for it. My golly, we were getting through reports, and my heart was like racing. As soon as we got through e-board reports, I turned to Sadie and I said, "Gosh, my heart is like beating out of my chest right now." So yeah, man. Thank you for hanging in there with me, folks. So, howdy. As I'm sure you've seen on the agenda this evening, under special orders, I've placed the election of a speaker, and I've done this as tonight will be my last time I get the honor of giving a report to you all as Speaker of the Senate, and the last time I have the honor of calling you all my fellow senators. Over the last 4 years, I've spent nearly 1,000 days as a member of this organization, and more than half of that time as Speaker of the Senate. Having thought about my final meeting as Senator a lot over those many days, I've put a lot of thought into the words I would say during my last report as Speaker. And I know most of you are very used to me speaking without a scripted speech, but with so many things I wanted to say, I thought it best to write out my words carefully, and in one last attempt to be the best speaker I can be, keep the meeting moving quickly without saying too much, something I never really got the hang of. I'll start plainly by saying 2 things. First being that no responsibility has carried more weight, dignity, or pride for me than holding this gavel. And while I transition into serving this organization and our campus in a different capacity, at least for this moment, I still feel the immense weight of the speakership as I officially announce that effective immediately upon the end of my report, I will resign as Speaker of the Senate and from my Senate seat. And the second important thing is thank you. Thank you to everyone in this room, the many I served alongside who aren't in this room, for entrusting me with such a weight for so long. There are many whom I wish I could thank by name, but there are 3 I would like to start with right now. Thank you to my fellow senators, Senator Bradley, Senator Fitzpatrick, and Senator Patricus, for being my first true friendships in the Senate and among my first friendships on campus. To the 2 of you who are in the room, thank you. Now that those 2 important pieces are out of the way, I'd like to move into a short second half of this report. In these last remarks, while I still have the honor of serving as your speaker, I want to say plainly what I believe this office, and more importantly, the office of Senator demands of anyone who holds it. And while I'm sure many of the principles that best describe how to do the job have eluded me, I think I've boiled them down to the 3 that have resonated most with my time in the Senate. The first, count the cameras anyways. I've told this story many times, but the short version is, just weeks after, once Senator Bradley and I were first elected to the Senate, we had an encounter with a student who had a backpack stolen in the University Center. And we decided that the best way to remedy this problem was to count every single camera in the building, making a map of where they currently are, and of course where there should be more. After quite a bit of work, we asked org leadership about how we could implement our idea, and the flaws in the way we carried out our process were made clear to us by more experienced members of the organization. In past, I've told this story as a warning against how ambition can lead you to make careless mistakes that communication could have solved. And while I think that story does have that lesson built into it, I think the more important moral of the story is that our organization has gone far too long since we've had the kind of ambition necessary to look at the problems of our constituents and run towards solving them. Even if it's hard, and even if other leaders in the organization tell you that you shouldn't be pursuing them. Said shortly, if you think your constituents might want it, go get it. Count the cameras anyway. 2, let your heart rule you and students give you the orders. Built into the structure of my second principle are the words rule and order. It was with great intent that I used those words to remind you that while our organization is, yes, an organization governed by process, by standing rules, by Robert's Rules of Orders, by procedures we've all sworn to uphold, we are not driven by those processes. You are elected or appointed to represent your constituents. They've trusted you to analyze the data you've been presented with and make the decision your heart truly believes is what's best for them. For too long, I have seen the will of our constituents neglected by an obsessive adherence to fixing our internal processes. Deceived by the far easier allure of perfecting our scaffolding, we've forgotten that scaffolding can only exist, by definition, to assist our work in building a better university for our constituents. To be clear, we will spend the next year fixing some of the processes that are in deep need of review, and that is important work. But it is only important in that we can realize when it is time to pick our heads up from the long manuals that guide our process and get back to doing what our organization is designed at its heart to do, serve students. Third, and lastly, attract what is collaborative and avoid what is chicanerous. This is a trite thing to do in speeches, but I have the Oxford Dictionary definition of chicanery. The Oxford Dictionary defines chicanery as the use of deception or subterfuge to achieve one's purpose, especially legal, financial, or political purpose. And while the name of our organization is Whitewater Student Government and the title of our great legislative body is the Senate, this is not Congress. We are not characters in House of Cards. The clear truth is there is no personal or political purpose great enough for you to engage in any subterfuge, especially as it relates to the work we do for students. And yet, despite this truth, if my time in the Senate has taught me anything, it's that you will encounter coworkers who believe that chicanery is necessary for us to succeed. What's harder to admit is that if my first point about ambition resonates with you enough, you may even be convinced of its usefulness yourself. And even worse yet, is that your chicanery may result in victory, politically or personally, and you may come to like it. I myself have been convinced of its usefulness at times, and while I look back at those moments with guilt, I even found myself liking it at times after those victories. Over the last year in this role, particularly the last 2 semesters, as I began to grow and understand the true weight of not only the gavel, but also our work, it is with extreme conviction I can tell you, engaging in chicanery is not only, as I know you all feel in your conscience, the more immoral way for us to engage in our work, but also crucially, it is not an effective way to get what you want. Building bridges, operating honestly, and doing it even when it's difficult will better align your head with your heart and lead to more successful outcomes for your constituents. I promise. Man, do I feel that one. Our work is better done together, collaboratively, and in the light where the true merits of your ideas can be examined by your fellow senators and far more importantly, by your constituents. To close, those principles are what I believe to be the most important pieces we can carry into any future work we do. I promise you all right now I will continue to do the best I can to adhere to them in all of my future work in this organization. But the work we must do cannot be done by one, and I have such a deep faith in our ability to utilize these principles to serve students together. As I've said many times in my speeches to the Senate, when I've run for this position, it has been the second greatest honor of my life getting to serve as Speaker of the Senate for Whitewater Student Government, succeeded only by the honor of being a big brother to my little sister. And to date, that remains true. Thank you for your trust. I can't wait to continue to work alongside you all. I love you guys a lot, man. I love you guys a lot. All the best. I yield.
I'm just.
I gotta do this awkward thing where I grab my binder now.
Oh, you have to sit down.
We will. Oh, man.
Thank you all.
Alrighty. What a report. With that, we're about into unfinished business, of which we have none. And we're into new business, starting with point B, election of the Speaker of the Senate. We're passing the gavel.
All right. You get to listen to me. How lovely. We are going into nominations here. Now, in preparation for having this lovely gathering, I did a little bit of reading for Robert's rules. So it might be a little bit different to how we usually do nominations, but it will be much more. Basically, what you do when you make a nomination is you have two options. Either just say, I nominate so and so. You don't have to be recognized for this. You can just go ahead and make the motion. Or you can raise your placard, wait to be called on. In that case, I will call on you. You make your nomination, and you are then allowed to give a short speech on why you believe that they are the correct person to nominate. In making your nomination, this is essentially your endorsement of the person. Not necessarily that you'll vote for them, but that you believe that they should be considered. Also, seconding is something that we can do. It's not necessary, you don't have to receive a second in order to be nominated, but you can second someone. You can second someone, someone can receive as many seconds as there are people to second them. This is also considered your endorsement. You believe that they are the best person to put forward into this role, and seconding can go the same way, either saying it without the floor or waiting to be called on, and then you can give a short speech on why you believe that they are the best person to be nominated. And then after that, I will go around, make sure that there are no more nominations to be given, and close nominations. Does that sound like a plan to everyone? Sound good? Okay, I'm seeing yeses. I move to open nominations for the position of Speaker of the Senate. Senator, oh my goodness, Lieber. This is what we need.
I nominate Nick Patrikas. I would like the time a little bit to speak. Nick has been deputy speaker since I've been here, and he always helped bring me into the fold. He always made me feel like I had a voice in the room at least, and I feel like the crux is what this position does. He's also a great leader in SUFAC. I mean, he's helped me through so many things and kind of held my hand when I was not all that sure of myself. So I think he really deserves a nomination.
Senator Patrikas, do you accept?
I do.
Are there any more nominations? President Bradley.
Nominate Senator Purnell. Should I just go right into? I think when past speaker Wilson talks about avoiding chicanery and doing what's best for constituents and counting the cameras, I cannot think of somebody more aligned with that sentiment than Parliamentarian Purnell. I would like to see the Senate may have a decision of who becomes the speaker.
Give me one moment as I check to see if the president can make nominations.
I'll entertain a nomination.
Can I entertain the nomination?
Okay. Nomination has been made by Senator Lang. If you would like to speak on it, you may.
I'll entertain this nomination, yes.
I will accept the nomination, and in doing so, pass the gavel to clerk.
What?
Oh, this
Howdy, folks. Hi, Doc. Looking for the nominations, please. One. I'm seeing no further nominations. I will move into if you want to put the podium. Move this thing going.
Oh my God, this is not being
Nick, you were nominated first, and so we'll have you begin here. You have 3 minutes. Introduce yourself, start us off. Any comments you wish to make before we get into a questioning period, and you'll have 3 minutes following you.
Sure. Hey everyone, my name is Nick, if you don't know me. I've been deputy speaker for the last year and a half. I was parliamentarian for the full semester before that. I'm also currently chair of SUFAC. But I've been thinking a lot about what the speech should be, and I keep coming back to the role itself. The standing rules say that the speaker is chairperson and agenda setter of the Senate, and how a lot of the speakers have interpreted that to mean is physically sending out an agenda every week. I want to do more than just that. I want to set an agenda, set a vision. There's only so many days until graduation. You come in wanting to do something, to run for president, to pass our own Student Life Advancement Act. The question is what we actually do at the time. Do you want to react to things as they happen, or do you want to take that first step to be the change you want to see? And I can tell you all about the stuff I've been preparing for over the last year to be an effective speaker, but every candidate is the change candidate. Right now, as a body, I feel we've become complacent. The WSG of today could not come up with the Student Life Advancement Act. Right now, we struggle to do much beyond revising our governing documents, and now I've done my fair share of that. But I want to sell you on a vision of a WSG that can do more than just that. Now, if you will, with me here, just imagine a Senate where every member can be a driver of change through overhauled committees that empower every single one of you, through a leadership that can support you, and through intentional outreach that transforms how we engage with the students who we represent. That's not just what I dream about. It's the future, and the work will begin right now. I don't want to offer you vague promises. I'm up here because I believe that together we can move to truly leading, to governing. Next week, I want to start that shift by expanding Senate leadership. And after that, I trust us all to create real change, to be the change you want to see on campus. And at the end of this, you'll get to vote, right? And if that's a vote for me, and that vision resonates with you, I would implore you to vote for me, right? But if not, I respect that too, and I cannot wait to work to earn your trust. This is the direction I believe we can and we will take. We can be the WSG that makes that happen, the Senate that crafts our own Student Life Advancement Act. Thank you. With that, I yield.
Hello, good evening. I am Jordan Burnell, the current from this area, and as I'm sure you are well aware, I really was on the fence on if I should come here tonight, and truly did not make that decision until the president nominated me. I decided that I would because in part because of the final report given by our former speaker. It truly, I believe that this organization has, in the past, at times focused too much on chicanery, to use his word, and I believe that we need someone that really wants to focus on moving forward with everyone's best intention, and working not to further their own agenda, but to further the health of the body. Time and time again, as a member of Senate leadership in this last semester, I have come across instances of do we do the right thing or do we do the thing that benefits one person? And it's sad, to be honest. It's something that I hope to change as I become speaker. And that is really my big goal. In my operations as speaker, I also want to sort of divvy the wealth. I don't want to be the one making all the decisions. I want to tie in the Senate in everything I do. Yes, we should be focusing more on outward-facing legislation and change. I've been saying this since I first joined. This is nothing new, but we should also look at the responsibilities of all of our members of Senate leadership and really see what can be sort of delegated and help people up the ladder who want the next position and not force them into the position, but ask them, is this what you want? And not sort of.
3 minutes, thank you. We'll move into an unlimited questioning period. Questions must be asked to both candidates, and we're starting with Senator Purnell. So looking for questions, please. Questions will be taken from the Senate, then the e-board, then the gallery, in that order. Then after be a student, ask a question. Looking for a question in the Senate, please. Senator Marty.
As Speaker, if elected, you are providing the gift of more opportunities for all of us to do our job to the best of our abilities as the senator. With these opportunities, I will make sure throughout. What would these opportunities entail?
Sure. It really is, it's something that I would have to really know know a little bit more as I'm getting into it, kind of how extensive it is. However, my first thoughts are to sort of tie more senators and put more senators at the forefront of legislation. I feel we have had too many pieces of legislation, this semester at least, where Senate leadership has been the signators. I think it should be flipped where senators who are not members of Senate leadership should be at the forefront and really be boosted up and put in those positions where they can excel.
I really want to focus on you being as involved as you want to be, right? If you want to be in leadership, there's a role that will fulfill what you want, right? I want to start that next week by expanding Senate leadership. Currently it's 3 officers. I'd like to make it 4. I'd also like to start that by overhauling our committees. So it's giving every single internal committee a brand new name, a new charge, doing a lot of the same things, but allowing kind of a grand refresh, right? And then externally, kind of focusing with, collaborating with every single department to make sure that committees are consistent in how they're structured. The other thing I want to mention is leadership, or ideas should not come out of leadership, right? Not every single one. They have been, but really focusing on that, you can be as involved as you want to be, right? It's finding, I want to be more involved. How do I do that? I've got a list of things that I've been working on that you can do. Otherwise, come up with an idea, right? How can we better serve students?
Beautiful. Other questions? Senator Hewley.
What is your biggest weakness in leadership? How does it affect your leadership style, and how will you make sure that it doesn't interfere with the job as speaker if you're elected?
The biggest thing I struggle with is delegation. I found that if I want something done and I'm really passionate about it, it's easier to just do it. But then someone's not learning, someone's not gaining anything, right? And that's something I've been working on, right? If you've seen my work over the last semester, I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to involve more people in decisions. And it's something I still need to work on, right? And I want to do that with a strong leadership at my side, with a strong Senate in front of us, right? What was the other part of the question?
Just how will you ensure that, or try to make sure that it doesn't interfere with your position as speaker if you're elected?
Yeah. I can't promise it wouldn't, but it's something I've been conscious of, and I think that's the first step of identifying a weakness is see it and then work to better yourself. And then I'm past that first stage, so I'm working there.
I would say my biggest weakness is sort of my personability. I can be a bit standoffish at times, a little hard to open up and sort of speak with others. And I speak my mind, and I'm very principled. And if I believe that something is right, I will tell you that. And that is not a way to make a whole lot of friends, but it also, I believe, is the correct way to do government, to stick by your guts and really strive for what you believe is right.
Further questions, Senator Lang?
With both your current workload now and what you perceive your workload to be next semester, how are you prepared to take on the extra work that will be being speaker?
Yeah, so, I mean, as for classes and stuff, I'm taking half of my classes online, so I should have more time to open my schedule, just practically. But, I'm thinking not exactly where you're coming with the question. In my role as parliamentarian, I have, I've played a far more extensive role than a lot of parliamentarians that come before me. A lot more in depth. I put a lot more hours into it. And my hope is to just sort of take the time and energy that I spent in my current role and transfer it over. If that makes sense, because it is a lot of, at the moment, it is, I spend probably 20 to 30 hours doing parliamentary duties. Like it's, I hope to just sort of take that and move forward.
So I'm currently deputy speaker, right? I'm also SUFAC chair, and those are both roles that are quite time intensive. But if elected to speaker, I would not be eligible to be on SUFAC or its chair. So that's giving that up entirely. So that there is just a bunch of time that I would have available. But like, man, this is everything I think about. I would have less time commitment if I elected speaker. So I'd have more time to commit to meeting with people and facilitating ideas and making sure that what you want, how you want to govern us, how we are doing that.
Further questions? Senator Reber.
So how has your time in the Senate and or Senate leadership kind of either prepared you or informed your want to be the speaker?
Yeah, I was a senator for 2 years without being in leadership, and then fall of 2024 I was elected parliamentarian, and then that semester I was parliamentarian, and then in January of 2025 I was elected deputy speaker. I've seen now 3 different speakers, and so I've seen what works, what doesn't work. Not saying that speakers don't work, but how leadership, how the Senate works, how the Senate doesn't not work, what it could do to be more effective. And the thing that keeps me up at night is that I will not have the opportunity to give everyone a chance. It's something I really want to do, right? Give you a chance to prove yourself, right? It's something I don't think I got until I was parliamentarian and then I proved myself and have been in this role since. Man, I really want to give that to everyone. There's 11,000 students on campus, right? Not everyone will be able to get that. But it's something I've really been trying to do.
Can you restate the question?
So how has your time in the Senate or in Senate leadership prepared you or made you want to be the speaker more?
Yeah, I haven't been around as long as my compatriot here, but in my time, I have been very passionate about this body and the work that it does. Sort of to use the words of our former speaker, checking the cameras, right? Really knowing where to go, who to ask, what steps to take. I also something that differentiates me a little bit is I know the rules of Parliament, parliamentary procedure, very well. As a chair of a body, that's something that is within one of your responsibilities. And my research that I've done as a parliamentarian into both Robert's Rules and Wisconsin Open Meetings Law, and making sure that our body sticks to that and doesn't deviate from the rules has, I believe, prepared me for this role. I've also, I believe that in my time, my almost one semester as a Senate officer, I've been able to see really the behind the curtain of leadership and how it operates and what changes I would like to make to really help the body, not just help those in power, but to help everyone, help the body and the students as a whole.
Thank you. Further questions? Senator Hernandez.
If a senator were to come to you with like an issue, problem, any concern, how would you make sure that you deal with that fairly and unbiased?
Sure. I think, well, my first step would be to direct them to the person to go to. If the student affairs concern, send them to the student affairs director or president. And sort of walk them through how to address those concerns. I think also coming into any concern, hearing it initially as valid and hearing them out and coming in with an open heart and assessing from there. Don't come in skeptical, but coming in with grace.
Can we repeat the question again? I'm so sorry.
I don't even remember. If a senator came to you with a problem, issue, concern, how would you deal with it fairly and without bias?
Yeah. Not letting my biases affect me is something that is, I think I'm really good at. Of course, I've used it in my role as parliamentarian. I've used it much less when I'm deputy speaker, but when I chair meetings, you have to make sure that every voice, even if you disagree, is heard. Other than that, that's kind of my job in SUFAC. And my job is to teach it to people, make sure that they understand it, so that when they have a discussion, I can facilitate that and make sure that the committee is making a decision, right? I can't be the one driving that conversation. The role of chair is inherently to facilitate, to make sure that voices, those that you agree with, those that you disagree with, are heard. I think President Bradley's doing a great job of it right now.
Folks, I'm just in a big circle here, so if you're on this back side, I'm sorry, it'll be a little while. Remember, we're going to unlimited questions. So keep writing down as we go. We'll make sure to get to you. Senator Thompson, please.
How do you guys plan to run the meetings as effectively and swiftly as possible, since knowing we're all pretty busy, so make the most out of the time that we do have here?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I have a lot of experience in, is running meetings. I'd say our last CFAC meeting was 15 minutes. Normally they go for around an hour, so we didn't have that much on the agenda, but sped ran through it. That's something I really want to do, right? I remember a couple years ago, we'd have meetings that would go until 8 o'clock, and they had like 3 things on the agenda. I think we kind of take our time with things, and that's okay, right? Make sure everyone is on this, like understanding, and but I think we can trust you to understand the material, right? I think we can do more in less time, right? I would really push us to do that. I mean, it's 8:36 right now, just turned. We're on item B of new business, right? Like, I think we could have been here an hour ago, but we like to talk, and that's not a bad thing, but I think being cognizant of the fact that we're in a meeting, we have things on the agenda, we have things to do, and I'll get out of here quicker and be more productive with our time, do more and less.
One of the things that I'm currently working on is I want to create an ad hoc committee to sort of look at Robert's rules. I know you all hate Robert's rules, but stick with me here. It would look at it, compare it to our current practices, see what we can do, what we can implement to speed up the process. Things like voice votes. Almost all of our votes are taken by roll call. That's not necessary. We can take some by voice. And that is allowed under Wisconsin Open Meetings Law. You can take contested votes by voice, or raise votes by raising your hand. Things like that, or limiting debate. A conversation around that, and creating a committee to have that conversation, not just to be me and whomever the parliamentarian is talking about this is what we think should happen, and then imposing it on all of you, but having that back and forth conversation. This is what we think should be, and this is what we think we should get rid of. This is how we really can speed things along, and make our meetings as effective as we can.
Further questions?
So there was a lot of talk about like outward legislation during this meeting. I was just wondering like what kind of possibilities you guys see for that, and like how do you see Senate being at the forefront?
Sure. Something that I am working on right now is I talk about it a little bit in my report somewhat every week whenever I have meetings, but I'm talking with Lit on the on sort of fixing the current Eaton bias form. And I would love to bring in more senators and more help with something like that. I have a couple ideas that I've brought to directors, such as I would love to get a shuttle on campus, or I would love to get more bathroom inclusivity, offer more menstrual products in bathrooms, things like that, and getting legislation on that, and not necessarily me being at the forefront. but sort of delegating and letting you all run free with it. I would love to be able to have an idea and pass it along, and sort of guide you on your path, but not oversee you, if that makes sense.
Could you restate the question?
Yeah, so we spoke a lot about like outward legislation, so I was wondering like what possibilities you see for that and how you see Senate being at the forefront.
I want to make sure I stay on topic. That's a little difficult to answer. The role of speaker is inherently mostly internal. It's kind of the split of our branches. Is e-board mostly works externally, and the Senate mostly works internally. I do have ideas though, right? I want to point you to a bill we have up tonight we'll look at. It is looking at university policies, and it's an internal process for that. So it is an internal, but it's university policies govern all of the university, right? So this is a way we can give feedback, make amendments. I don't want to pitch you the bill, you'll hear that later, but that is external, how we will interact with campus. The other thing I want to do is you're all on external committees. We don't hear that many committee reports. So I want to do kind of a committee audit to make sure that they're all meeting, and then make a university master list of all these committees, make sure they have a consistent format. They're all having agendas, minutes, the calendar invites are being sent to the right people. If they're not meeting, why they're not meeting, if they should be meeting. And that is all external, right? But yeah, those are just ideas I've had as a senator. The role of speaker is to facilitate ideas, I think. So if you have an idea of what we can do external, I would love to hear it and how we can accomplish it as a body.
Further questions? You.
What is the one thing you want to accomplish the most as being a speaker?
Personally or professionally?
Anything's fine.
Both. Cool. Personally, I want to learn to delegate more. And that's something that I think is inherent to the role of speaker, right? You have a deputy speaker, you have a parliamentarian who can kind of take that burden. That's something that Speaker Wilson did with me, and I've been delegated the Rock County meeting. I have an update on that actually. Thanks for reminding me. But personally, that's what I want to do. Professionally, I want to get us to a body that does something again. We were that. That's why I joined. I met Max Vey, who's now Vice President Emeritus, but he introduced me to student government. It was just off the back of the Student Life Advancement Act. It was the thing that student government did to make the bowling alley free, the weight room free, a few other things. But that was student government, right? It was just off the back of that I joined. And there's a lot of inspiration, a lot to live up to. And I really think we can do that again, right? This year we've had 3 R bills. The year I joined the Senate, we had 30. So that was the same amount of time, right? I think at this point they'd probably be at 24, but like we're not doing much. We can do I mean, at the very least, we can do a lot more that we're not currently doing. And that's professionally, that's what I want to do.
I would like to get the organization to a point where we all sort of get along. We're all friends, if that makes sense. I know it's nice to say, oh, we can all come together and sing Kumbaya, but I think that if we all have a better relationship with one another, and that relationship focuses on not one's own selfish desires, so for lack of a better phrasing, but focuses on the betterment of the student body and the institution as a whole. The things like external facing legislation will come. It's just when people inside the organization are all fighting each other, we're going to focus on things within the organization.
Thank you. Further questions? Anyone from the gallery? From the e-board? All the way around. Senator Marty.
So from paying attention, this is going to be a broader area. From paying attention to national politics and state politics, we see a lot of disagreement through both sides of political parties and high polarization. As Speaker, how do you want to make sure that we have working relationships within the student government body to tell the students saying, we are different than what's going on the national and state level. You're a student organization that cares about you.
Yeah, so to sort of address the first part of how do we create those bonds, it's by doing more things together. I think it would be great to just have more outings and just hang out and create that environment where we can hang out and we're not all calling each other by our last names. And we're able to just go out and go grab a coffee with someone. Sorry, can you repeat?
Just like how do we overcome partisanship within our society? I mean, it's a big imposing question.
On the broader scale for for our relationship with the university, I think it is. I think that can be done by making change. I think if we make change, students will see that we are making change, and they will know. They will have a fonder opinion. We can put our name on a whole bunch of posters and hang them around the UC. It doesn't matter how many times they see our face if we do nothing as an organization. It's the ability to recognize us that is then paired with being able to point to something and say, yes, we did that. And we did it last year. We did it this year. We did it a month ago. And now we did it in the 90s. Right? Get more legislation on that legislation law that is a little bit more recent. Things like that.
Yes. I want to start by saying we don't have parties in student government. I'm thankful for that. Kind of one party. We all have the same goal. I think we get lost in the sauce sometimes. That's why you were elected, right? Where you were appointed. You were appointed to serve students, right? You weren't appointed to bicker, to argue, or to do this, right? You're appointed to do what's best for them. And yourself, right? You're a student. I think we forget that too many times. But like, I guess in terms of just general partisanship in the United States of America, depolarization is something we need to do. We've become far too politicized as a society. And I think that's the thing we forget, even like real world politics as well. Like, we have more in common than we disagree on. It's easy to point out the negatives, right? When you have a negative experience, you remember it far more than you remember a positive experience. But we have so much more in common than we forget sometimes. and we like to hold the negatives. And I don't want to get political.
Other questions? Rita?
Given the nature that only 2 of you are running tonight, one of you will be the next speaker and one will not. So, should you lose, what's your plan for the ideas that you just shared with us this evening? What are you going to do with those ideas?
The one about expanding Senate leadership, that probably won't happen, just because it's a thing the speaker needs to be on board with, and if it's not the speaker's idea, I think it's a little weird. The other thing with the external committees, I've already had a conversation with someone about it. Thomas Lazowski, if you know him, works in the Office of Compliance and Risk Management. We talked about it a little bit, but I've kind of waited because we're right now in the midst of policy revisions for SUFAC. But after that, I want to, it's a thing I believe in and a thing I want to happen. And that's not a thing you need a title to do. I mean, the titles help, but like, you can do it as a student. And I would be coming to him as a student saying, I want this transparency, I want this. I'm a student, I want this. How can we make this happen? And go from there.
I want to say that if I were to be elected speaker, I would work with our current deputy speaker to hopefully get a lot of the changes that he wants done made, because I do think that he has a lot of good ideas. But if I was not elected, I would still push for everything that I stood up here and said that I wanted to push for, whether that's through legislation or through just active community working. It's not something that you have to be the speaker to do. It's just something that it's nice when the speaker does, because the speaker is sort of the head honcho. They are the person that we look to, typically, for things like community and for sort of setting the agenda, as is their role. And I would push for everything that I have said while standing up here just as hard, if not more.
Based off of what I've heard both of you say, I guess I'm just looking for clarification. Do you think that us as a current body have failed as senators? Like, have we failed the student body as senators?
Like, do you think?
This current body. Because I've heard a lot about us being complacent or us not really doing much.
It's a difficult question to answer. I believe that the body does not always act in its own self-interest. Or the people within the body don't act within the body's self-interest, if that makes sense. I think that overall, the organization has been able to float along just fine. But I think, as for anything, there's room for improvement, and for this organization, I think there's a quite large room for improvement, and I hope to push that, and I hope that whomever is in a position of leadership within this organization also pushes for, but whether that be the president or the speaker or the next academic affairs director. I don't know. But there's always room for improvement, and that's sort of where I'm at.
There's a distinction in your question. I don't know if you meant it, but you asked if senators are failing. And I think there's a difference between if individual senators are failing and if the Senate as a body is failing. But I think larger than that, it's how do you define failing? Failing is a strong word. Is it not serving the students to what it could? I mean, I think that's the answer. I would say yes, we are failing. If it exists as a body, I mean, we're doing that quite well. But are individual senators failing? I don't think so, right? You're here to serve students, right? And if you're doing that, and you would know, right? Each one of you would know if you're here to do that. If you're here to do that, you're doing what you were elected to do. I would implore you to keep doing that. But I would also implore you to, is there another step we can take, right? There's always more we can do. And if that next step is, I want to be more involved, how do I get more involved? If that question is, I like exactly how involved I am, I don't want to be involved anymore. Both of those have answers, right? Both, I mean, introspective, but like, leadership should support you. The speaker should support you, but beyond that, you're all leaders, right? The person sitting next to you, if you look to your left, look to your right, they should support you. They should, hey, you know, like, I don't think we're doing this right. Should be able to help, right? You're a senator and that's your title, but beyond, you're a person, right? Use that to call the person sitting next to you, right? Ask them how their spring break was. We just got up. Maybe some of you went to some pretty cool places. But like, plan a trip, right? I went to DC last year with Isaiah and Oren. I met Isaiah through student government, but like that was one of the coolest experiences of my life. Right, so like the people around you, they're not just your coworkers. They can be more than that. They can be friends, right? I think I got a little off topic with your question, but have we failed? I would implore you to look inwards, and if you think the answer is yes, then the next question should be, how can we fix that? Yeah.
To avoid all the negativity of possibly past failings, what's like a solid step for the future you want to implement? Not just like what we need to do, what's an actual step we should go towards that you plan on pushing us towards?
Well, an actual step is do more than just revise our internal documents, right? 10 S bills, I think 7 are standing rules changes. 2-3 years ago when we had the 30 R bills, that was 2 standing rules changes. They have a lot of issues, right? I don't want to be that guy who's, I'm not going to preach that we should not change the standing rules ever again, but do something, right? Go count the cameras, as the speaker said, or former speaker said. Maybe don't do this, but when I was a freshman, Senators Wilson and Bradley and I scheduled a meeting with the Executive Director of Housing, Terry Tamburello, just because we didn't like the heights of the showers and wells. And I would say don't do that, right? These existing relationships that directors have with these people. But come up with, it was an idea we had, right? Not a great one in retrospect, but like, It taught me a lot. I want to like, the lesson I think from that is do something, right? Go count that. I'm not still not in a place to when I'd say go schedule a meeting with a director level position, but like go do the research, right? You don't like how something is done. There's probably a reason for it, right? Dining is expensive because everyone needs their cut, right? You've got the cost of the item, dining, Charles has to make the profit, university gets a cut. If it's at a football game, athletics gets a large portion of that, right? But so then, like, rather than just complaining, dining's expensive, we got to do something. Go find why, right? Ask those questions. That's what we can do as a body. That's hard because it starts with the individual, right? Every idea should not come out of leadership. So in order for that to happen, for that to be the way we do things, people not in leadership have to come up with ideas, right? So if you're looking for something to do, if you want to get more involved right away, what you should do is come ask that question, right? Ask questions, learn as much as you can.
Can you restate the question, please? Can you restate the question, please?
What's a step you plan to better the body in the future, essentially?
I'd love to plan optional get-togethers where we might just all go bowling in Warhawk Alley or utilize some of the services that our university has to offer. We might go see a play young or go to watch a movie down under or something. Just get together and do something. There are plenty of free things that the university offers that we can just get together and do and sort of organize and reward things like that. That would be a big step. It's hard to clarify steps, so to say. Just because it is in a position that is less steps and more movement, if that makes sense. We're not making steps, we're rolling along, sort of. But if I were to take a step, a thing that I need to sort of implement right away, it would be sort of, things like get-togethers. Or, just pushing senators to the forefront with things like legislation. Probably enough.
Do one final question here. Seeing none from the Senate, seeing none from the E-Board. I got Dave Hunt from the gallery, beat you at that.
So she does. So noticing that involvement is a pretty heavy theme of this discussion right now. Given the nature of your position, there's going to be kind of a two-part question, to a degree. Given the nature of your position, do you intend to foster new relationships with other student organizations, and if so, how do you intend to foster them?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important to create and maintain those relationships with other organizations, especially since WSG, as through SUFAC, controls their money. We should at least know what they're doing and be a little bit friendly. There should definitely be a bit more a bit more collaboration between WSG and other organizations. How I intend to do that, it starts with reaching out. That's the easy answer. It starts with reaching out. It might be doing more sort of events with them. It might be just having people come in and talk at a Senate meeting. Having more guest speakers. Things like that. Just having shout outs and announcements. Things like that. Where we can really pop up the voices of these other organizations on campus. And not only create that relationship between us and them, but help them out by getting them more attention as well.
I hate going back to the same examples, but CFAC does recommend allocations on 118 or 17 student organizations, I think, somewhere around there, last year. There's a ton of organizations I didn't know exist. There's 180 total-ish, almost 200. So even more than that don't get funding. But do you know there's a beekeeping club on campus?
Yeah.
I learned that recently, a year or two ago. But the president recently just gave me a bottle of honey. That's got the logo on it. It's fun keepsake. But outreach events, when I first joined, were that. You go to a student org, you sit in the back of the room, listen to it, and then email the parliamentarian, hey, this is what I did. And I don't think that worked. Trenton Curbs is a kind of a controversial figure, but the reason he's an emeritus member of the organization is because what he did with the role of parliamentarian. What he did with outreach events. They became outreach. You had to actually outreach students, right? As the name implies. And so I haven't seen a system that kind of incentivizes that. Right now we have the structure of do an outreach event or you get an unexcused absence, and that's kind of a negative punishment if you don't do it. We don't have a positive reward if you do something. And that's what we need. We need ideation in that field. Kind of an open call to the Senate, right? How can we better improve that, right? If we recognize that it's lacking, what are the steps we can take to, or what are some ideas we can do to improve it?
All right, folks, we're going to do a little different here. We're going to give each candidate a minute to give us a closing statement. Nick, as it's naturally your turn, and you start with your opening, and you will begin.
Sure. My name is Nick. You don't know that, but I've been deputy speaker for last year. I have a lot of experience in running meetings. I've done it for CFAC for the last year. 2 years ago in CFAC, when I was not a chair nor a vice chair, I ran a hearing because they were both gone. I think that was the first meeting I ran. That was fun. But the role of speaker is to facilitate your ideas. And that's, if I can emphasize one point, it's that. It's not to be the ideator, to come up with every single idea. It's to facilitate the ideas that you have into legislation or into an actual policy that we can improve the way that students live. I'll give you the rest of the time back. But.
The role of speaker is to facilitate, but it's also to lead. And I hope to lead by example. I hope to foster an environment that really is pleasant to be around, keeps people in it, and focuses on the health of the student body. first and foremost, because that is what we
Thank you both. You may take your seats. First off, very well done. 15 questions answered by you two. 15 more would be at the debate. That is true. As is the precedent of this body, we are going to move into a roll call vote. We were looking for a simple majority as outlined in 5.1C of the WSG standing rules. Seeing that we have 14 senators here this evening to cast a vote, and the simple majority is more than half, it will take 8 votes. If there's no other comments or questions, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Hugh.
Nick.
I'm sorry, can I jump in here really quick? We could vote, a vote of Patricus is for Nick to be the speaker, a vote of Purnell is for Jordan to be the speaker, a vote of nay is for neither, or you could abstain. Any questions on that? Terribly sorry. From the gallery?
When might you want to abstain?
You might want to abstain if there might be any monetary value received from the vote. So if you're running for speaker perhaps, it's probably best to abstain and not vote for yourself. Because it's a paid position. And quick from the top, please.
Oh, is this a paid position?
Senator Hugh.
Senator Patricus.
Senator Lang.
Pass.
Senator Majors.
Patricus.
Senator Marty.
Patricus.
Senator Patricus.
Abstain.
Senator Purnell.
Abstain.
Senator Reber.
Patricus.
Senator Reyes.
Patricus.
Senator Richardson. Purnell. Senator Thompson.
Pass.
Senator Vanderhyde.
Patricus.
Senator Wheaton.
Patricus.
Senator Janetti.
Patricus.
Senator Healy.
Patricus.
Senator Hernandez. Senator Lang.
Nay.
Senator Thompson.
Patricus.
Beautiful. The vote of 10-2 with 2 abstentions and 1 nay. Congratulations to Deputy Speaker Patricus. I'd like to invite up former Speaker Wilson to join me for the oath of office.
I'm just joining you. I was just going to give it to you.
Come on around, good sir.
Oh my God. President Bradley, I'd like a request if I will.
Sure. No, we're all together. There we go. I want you to close. I want you to close. Nicholas A. Patricus, you have been elected by the Senate of the Whitewater Student Government to serve as Speaker of the Senate. Understanding that you have been chosen to perform such an active and important role, do you accept the position of Speaker and all the responsibilities, duties, and privileges it will include? If so, say I will to the best of my ability.
I will to the best of my ability.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Nicholas Patricus,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to fulfill the obligations and responsibilities of my office,
to fulfill the obligations and responsibilities of my office,
to be knowledgeable of
to be knowledgeable of
and uphold the WSG Constitution,
and uphold the WSG Constitution,
the WSG standing rules,
the WSG standing rules,
and university policies
and university policies
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the new Speaker of the Whitewater Student Government.
Yeah, you should do here.
Alrighty, folks.
It's warm in here. We've been here a while. We can take a little 5-minute recess. Are you coming with that? I'll ask you guys to do a 5-minute recess. Any opposed? Seeing none, we'll be back in here at 9:20.
Oh,
want you.
Hi, Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Congratulations.
I've been watching you the whole time.
Sorry for like throwing you guys for a loop on that one.
Actually, I'm not gonna.
Yes.
We're
not doing two boxes. I just am so loud. Yeah, I don't
And my parents go and they're like, this is not sticky.
No.
But it depends like meaning of
So when we do that, we're gonna do a thing called alert letters.
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
It's going well. Now you're in WSG.
Yes.
Since last April. Yeah. Who do you represent? I represent everyone. Everyone. All. But, congrats.
I mean, yeah,
Hopefully I didn't
I
sound
actually
too
have it
repetitive.
scheduled. I was at least going to attend the
No, I mean, I was kind of like
This.
I'm the current, well, former advisor.
Yeah, I think it would be good experience. Probably be a better idea to get a handle on the organization.
I can reach out to, especially people just here.
Sure, also, actually, another thing I was gonna ask, in terms of
I mean, my
It feels good. It was I got to the last one. I saw the bottom of the paper. I'm like, let's go. Yeah. And then I got to the that was brutal. I mean, the reason.
That's a disgrace.
I don't.
We need to figure out, so basically you've worked 13 out of the 26 weeks of the
Yeah. How long do we have?
in the
I can't wait to be in the office.
Put it in, I checked today, because I was doing math. So,
I'm doing that excited too. I'm playing on the side. What's your next year? You have no idea? Okay. I mean, what year are you? They got it.
Yeah, so I know, I'm in your group, Thomas's birthday.
Yeah, I did both today because
It was kind of late, yeah, but no, it was like drool product of a paper. It's fun, it was funny, it was but like, I made my hair. So normally, like, I'll leave around like 6:50, 6:45. I make work, if I would work, if I really care. Or I do something, during weeks, outside, good, yeah, it was very, everyone wanted
super awesome.
Are we still recording? Is that how that works? Oh, Kristen, are you there?
Brewers are winning.
Good question.
They lost. They lost.
And happy birthday
Really?
to your daughter.
Yeah, happy.
Thank you.
Yes! I was wondering if you were there and could hear me.
Yes,
How are
thank
you?
I'm good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She said, oh. I don't feel it yet. Hey, what'd you do on break? Because I have it like already.
She's like, oh, it's so great. Like, let's go.
Can we go back to the car? It's like, I want to come here. Grenoble.
She's like, we're gonna I feel like this is very
You would be the one to do as possibly can until I can. And the compromise is
Please find your seat. Please, thank you.
Oh, wait.
Time is 9:22 here. After order. Everyone, please find your seat. Alrighty. We're still in new business. On to the approval request of unofficial WSG election, executive election results. I'm seeing Clerk West, you before. It's I think it's the tab, right? Very right.
I like that. Okay, so elections committee met with ballot counting on Friday. They found 604 votes for Wilson Lindeman's slate. There was 13 valid write-ins, 16 invalid write-ins, 2 of them being blank, and then 8 blanks. And then for referenda 1 passed with 92%, referenda 2 with 89%, referenda 3 with 95%, referenda 4 with 92%. And I just want to say thank you to the elections committee folks. I know it was a fun semester. I say fun. And a big thanks to Vice Chair Warren Smith and Advisor Tim Clarkson, and then President Bradley for helping out with stuff. You know, he was not in the committee, like he was like at the debate. So with that, I yield.
Are there any questions for Clerk West? I'm not seeing any. We'll go into a roll call vote on this. Vote of aye is to approve it. Vote of nay, you get it. Madam Clerk, whenever you're ready, please call roll.
Senator Lang.
Aye.
Senator Majors.
Aye.
Senator Marty.
Aye.
Senator Patricus.
Aye.
Senator Burnett.
Aye.
Senator Reber.
Aye.
Senator Reyes.
Aye.
Senator Richardson. What are we voting?
We're on approval of election results. Vote of aye is to approve it. Vote of nay is to.
Aye. Senator Thompson.
Aye.
Senator Vanderhyde.
Aye.
Senator Wheaton.
Aye.
Senator Janetti.
Aye.
Senator Hewitt.
Aye.
Senator Hernandez.
Aye.
Senator Kiwu.
Aye.
In a vote of 15-0, the election results have been approved unanimously. And I'll be the first person to congratulate President-elect Wilson and Vice President-elect Lund. Alrighty, we're on to item D here. R252603, resolution establishing the student perspective on university policies. Asking the gavel to commentary now.
So this is an R bill, which means we will be discussing and voting on it tonight. We haven't had any of those this semester, but it is very similar to an S bill. It's just all in one night, pretty much.
Last one was last semester. I think it was October 7th, or the day before, around that time. Never know you were still around. Ooh. Okay. So this is the, I don't know if you know this. The university adopted a policy on policies and a procedure on policies. And those are so fun, and I know we all love talking about policies. But I think it's really great that to promote consistency in how we're governed, right? As we're subject to university policies, those being consistent and then having a format that we can all follow along with is a good thing. And that's kind of what this says. And then we're affirming to providing thoughtful and constructive student feedback on the development and review of university policies. Might you post some if they want to.
Okay. So yeah, I'd like to also just do a little overview. As you'll see tonight, we have another bill kind of pertaining to, or it's on the similar topic. But what this bill does is it says that we approve of the policy on policies that we currently have, which is what we use to kind of, to govern how policies are created. It's like the Constitution for policies. Framework, yeah, it's like the framework.
Scaffolding, if you will.
Got it. All the adjectives.
Beautiful website here. Thomas is also in this. You see him correctly?
It also establishes that we like to have a greater. Here, would you like to? So it says, therefore be it further resolved, the Whitewater student government encourages continued opportunities for student engagement in the creation, revision, precision, and implementation of university policies. What we're trying to say here is that we want to maintain a level of input on how policies are implemented and just in general about policy on policies.
I think both the other submitters have pretty much covered everything, but in the simplest forms, this basically just says that we have been given the university's policy on policies. We like what we saw, we agree with it, and we want to use it. And so then this is pretty much just saying we agree with it and we like it, and we're going to go forward with it. And then the next bill, which is kind of like a follow-up to this, is going to be how we're actually doing
that. We have questions?
All right. We're going to go into content changes. First with the submitters, if we have any.
I have one. You could consider it clerical. Speaker Wilson is no longer a senator, so we strike his name. And then put that.
I'm asking for unanimous consent. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Speaker Wilson's name has been stricken from the motion. Any other content changes? Senator Giannetti.
Sort of following up with that, given that Deputy Speaker Nicholas Patricus is no longer Deputy Speaker, and is in fact the Speaker now, I would move to edit that to just be Speaker Nicholas.
That was my change. That and then cut speaker. Use both.
I'm gonna okay, never mind. That's my bad.
Was your initial motion to also?
Yes, for both.
I apologize. I only stated the one.
Oh, so sorry.
All in favor for striking the deputy from the title, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There it is. Just to do it properly. Any other content changes? Going once, going twice, seeing none, we are on to clerical ends.
I'm that guy again. I'm so sorry. Hereinafter referred to as the policy and policies. Just add that word in there. Sorry.
The motion is to add as. So it would read hereinafter referred to as the policy on policies. I'm asking for unanimous consent. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. Any other clerical items? Going once, twice, seeing none, move on to questions. Any questions for the minutes? Is that a question? President Bradley?
Was the policy on policies run by anybody in the Whitewater student government before it was put into practice?
I mean, I have no proof of that. I have been told by you that you looked at it, so I can only take you at your word.
That's true.
Senator Reader?
I apologize. What was your question? I could not hear it.
Before the policies on policies, policy 1 was passed or put into action, was it run by somebody within the Whitewater student government? The answer was yes, it was run by myself, the president.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the Smears? Senator Marty?
How will this not be exploited because you have a policy on policy? Like, I don't know, there could be a loophole within a policy on top of a policy.
I'd like to make a little clarification. I don't know, this might answer your question. So the policy on policies is already implemented. It's part of the university system. And this bill that we're currently talking about, it only enforces enforces like that we approve of the policy on policies.
I mean, yeah, kind of just that, like, what we were given is a framework for how policies are adopted. So, like the other submitter said, this just is saying, like, we like it. There's not really a loophole to be had.
Any further questions? Senator Richardson?
Just like a point of clarification, is this targeting like the framework of policies or like the process of passing policies?
Yeah, the framework specifically. So we kind of did this in two parts. So our bill is what we're looking at right now, which again is just saying we like it, this is what we're doing. or this is what we want to move forward with. The S bill, which will be presented right after this, is how we're going to do that, and target specifically how we are going to uphold the policy on policies that was given to us.
Any further questions?
So it's just like addressing how policies are formed, kind of, and like how they're framed?
So the policy on policies, right, is how the university makes policies consistent, right? Make sure that the approval structures are the same. That is the framework. What this bill does, that's already in place. That's in effect. Policies have been approved using that structure, right? This bill is saying that we like that. We like the consistency. We like what that is saying. Policies.
Advisor.
Campus has already adopted it, right? And so as a governing body, you have the right to say, yep, great, or nope, we're not interested, we'd like to come back to it. So it's really just saying that if you approve this, that you're saying this is a good way to go for campus because of what it does within the document. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
For reference, an I vote would basically be saying that you approve of the policy on policies, and you would like to maintain our influence with the policy on policies. That is the bare bones of the bill right now.
This is from the policy and policies. This is the purpose of what that is. It's that they must be up to date, consistent in format, and how they are approved, easily accessible, and understandable to stakeholders. So, right? Bill says we like this. Do more of this.
President Bradley.
How I interpret this, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, is that because this is an R bill, it's just a comment on an already existing, already implemented policy. So it's just, if voting aye on it is just commenting that you agree with what this is commenting on the policy and policies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's two different types of legislation, right? R bills, S bills. R bills state an opinion, S bills call for something. This is stating we like this. The S bill is how we will do it. We'll get to that.
Any further questions? Seeing none, we move on to discussion. Is there any discussion? Senator?
Yes, I encourage a yes vote. This is, or an I vote. This is, it really doesn't have any downsides. It's very cut and dry. It's just saying that whether you support it or not, and then the next bill is a lot more, has a lot more to it, substance, one might say. So I.
Senator Winters.
I would also like to encourage a vote of aye on this bill, this resolution. As someone who works with university policies in every single day of my work, this I read probably every single policy the university has. So this policy on policies is allowing each department to make the changes, not only to make it universal across campus, as many policies do not follow the same format currently, but it also allows for better accessibility of the policies across campus, which is something the university has been working towards. So I would definitely encourage you to vote aye on this.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Richardson.
In the future, like, would it be possible to reference, like how you guys look at the policy thing and kind of gave that like description? Would it be possible to reference that like in the bills in the future? I mean, I guess it probably does reference it, but like more directly, so we can have that accessible and like read it beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we try to do through the. Look at the bill. The whereas is establishing that it exists. The recognizing, the realizing, and the observing are that establishing clauses, right, pre-ambulatory if you're a model young person. And then therefore be resolved is what we're doing, right? So I feel like this, we can always strive to be better. We should always strive to be better. And I'd love to hear how we can do that. Yes.
Any further discussion? Once, and twice, seeing none, we are on to a vote on the motion. So a vote of aye is to pass this resolution establishing the student perspective on university policy. The vote of nay is to not pass the resolution. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, please call the roll.
Senator Majors,
Aye.
Senator Marty,
Aye.
Senator Purnell,
Pass.
Senator Reber,
Aye.
Senator Reyes,
Aye.
Senator Richardson,
Aye.
Senator Thompson,
Aye.
Senator Vanderbeck,
Aye.
Senator Wheaton,
Aye.
Senator Janetti,
Aye.
Senator Geely,
Aye.
Senator Hernandez,
Aye.
Senator Hugh,
Aye.
Senator Lang,
Aye.
Senator Purnell,
Aye.
Speaker Patricius.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. 18-0.
I'm sorry. For now, it's the reading.
I don't vote.
Fantastic.
That's how it is. That's like cool down.
We are now moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is item E. S-2526, and the act establishing student feedback on university policies. Submitters, when you're ready,
Okay, so like we said a couple minutes ago, the other bill was just kind of, yay, we like this. This is the much bigger bill of how we're actually going to view and give our feedback on university policy as an organization.
Yeah, coming up this way, I wanted to split it. So I have a flow chart here, and this is, I've now like the third iteration. So please tell me if this doesn't make sense. But currently, under the structure, the president gets a policy to review as a shared governance leader. And then can either say, yeah, I like this, I don't like this, here's some feedback, here's any changes you should make. What this does is creates an internal process for that approval structure. So it's not just the president looking at it, more eyes can be on a thing. For the president's sake, right, just so he's not looking at everything and we can have an outlined process for that. So, flowchart here. I'm a visual learner, you might not be, but let me walk you through this. Yell at me if it doesn't make sense. President gets a policy. What the president then does, what they do is forward it to the speaker. Right? So now that the president's hands are off, this is an optional step, but they can then solicit their own feedback. So that can be from e-board, it can be from just a random student on the street, it can be from the dog's mother. Very nice. And then what the speaker does, right? Now it's out of the president's hand. The speaker then has to assign it to an internal committee. And so there's two directions to go here, right? If there's already an internal committee that fits the scope of the policy. There are some that are just, you can plug and play, right? There's some policies that are about like HR or things like that we don't have a committee for, right? So what the speaker can then do is create an ad hoc committee and define the membership. So if we have like some HR majors or people who are experts in that field, they can then do that. They come to, and then what the committee does, right, whether it's an existing committee or an ad hoc committee, is they review the policy and then they create feedback. So they'll review the policy itself, they'll say, this is what we like, this is what we don't like, any changes we want to make, and then if it should be improved. So the committee creates that. Then the committee presents that policy, all of that stuff, to the Senate, to you all, who can then, we have a discussion about it, it'll probably be 10 minutes. And then you have options. You can approve it, amend it, or reject it. If it's rejected, it goes right back to the committee to come up with something new. If it's amended, right, the Senate can still approve it or reject it. But if it's approved, then the Senate findings are combined back in with what this president solicited, if they want to. All of that is combined, and then president sends us all to. Is it Thomas or who is it? Depends on the policy, but president then has all this package to just, here you go. And that's the gist of it, right? The bill is 2 pages of how we do that and written out. And I can read through each clause if you'd like. But
if anybody is wondering just why the bill is so long, it looks like this because we wanted to very intentionally not change the standing rules again. This process allows us to kind of give our feedback without having to change the standing rules again, because we've done that a lot this year. And this is going to be a consistent policy that we can go to when we're given stuff to review, which I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think we already have policies to review.
Yes, many.
So this will probably be used relatively quickly if adopted. But again, it looks like this because we didn't want to change the standing rules, so don't be frightened by the length of the bill.
Oh no. Point of personal privilege. From checking the weather, there's going to be thunderstorms.
Alright.
Yeah. We are under a severe thunderstorm warning.
So if there's a way for me to get back to my dorm safely, because that would be likely appreciated.
Yeah, we should pass the bill.
All right.
This is the second to last. The only thing after this is announcements. But if you feel that is better for you now,
I'm not going to leave now. I'm going to wait until this is over.
we are on to content changes. Starting with the submitters, any content changes? Senator Giannetti.
Okay. This is like for clerical edits, right?
We are on content changes.
As in, like, could I?
Clerical edits is next.
Okay, I'll wait. Never mind. Yeah.
Any content changes? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, we are on to clerical edits.
Okay.
Starting with the submitters, any clerical edits? Senator Giannetti.
Alright, take 2. So in paragraph 4, recognizing at the very end it says and then there's a comma, and then there's a D. So
It'll be on me, I guess.
I click the D next time.
yeah. I don't know if that's
If you allow friendly amendments, we'd like to.
The motion hasn't been made to strike that file is equal for recognizing. Statement, I'm asking for unanimous consent. Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion passes.
So I have a clarify that. I'll remove the deputy from my title. Please, if you would.
Motion is to remove deputies from the title. I'm asking for unanimous consent. Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion passes unanimously. Any other clerical edits? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none, we are on to questions. Any questions for the submitters? Any questions for the submitters? Going once, going twice, seeing none. We are done with this for tonight. We move on to announcements. I'm passing.
Alright, any announcements? I have a couple. As I'm no longer deputy speaker, there will be an election next week for that position. If you're interested, of course, standing rules. I'm also deputy speaker for a year and a half as the current speaker, so I have a wealth of knowledge of what the community role itself does. The other thing is April 13th. If we did a Rock County meeting that week, right, we'd all get in our cars and drive over there, who would be unable to attend? Just raise your hands. 1, 2, 2 senators. Paige, say, am I missing anyone? Okay. Cool, thank you. This is your notice that it will be that day. So, 14 days. Any other announcements? Director Roscoe?
Student affairs meeting, 8 a.m. tomorrow. Please be there. Please be there. Thank you.
Senator Rangers?
Just to get it more on your radar, as a reminder, on April 7th, there will be an election. You can vote here on campus and the Hamilton room, I believe it's still up.
If your polling place is
If your polling place is here. Check your polling place. You can check that on myvote.gov.
Senator Hernandez?
The week of April 12th, we are having Greek Week. It's not open to the campus, but we're hoping to get more campus visibility. So keep an eye out on Instagram, see all the fun events we're having that week. President Bradley will be a talent show judge, as well as Dean Schmidt, and we're really excited to have everyone in just Greek unity. So keep an eye out on the socials for that.
Senator Lang?
Two things. The UC-wide programming survey closes tomorrow, I believe. We're trying to get as many responses on that as possible. It is feedback on what our events are going to look like next year throughout the entire UC. So if you do anything at all in this building, please take it or send it to anybody that you know that you think might not have taken it. Also, again, the NACIF survey for dining, that closes April 10th, so please take that. It's very short. It took me literally 5 minutes. Please do.
Senator Regan?
To add on to the NACIF survey, we talked a lot, especially today, about changes we want to make to dining. If you want the changes made, if you want to see something happen, fill out that survey that helps show what we want changed.
Marlon, thank you for now.
Couple things, real quickly. As I'm sure you're all very excited to get out in that rain.
No.
No,
I'm not sleeping here.
The first outreach event is due on Sunday. If you cannot complete that, please let me know. Just talk to me. We can figure something out. I can give you an extension, something. We can work something out. Also, please remember to bring in your placards for Senate meetings. I think we had about half of our senators have placards this evening. It is incredibly helpful when you bring them, not only for whoever is presiding, but whomever is running for appointment or is just in the gallery watching tonight. Who is representing them, and who to go to. So please, that is your job as a senator. Please bring in your primary.
Quick West?
If you gave a video report tonight, please send it to me so I can put it in the minutes. And then if you are on the Records and Archives Committee, I'll be sending you an email with a link.
President Bradley? President Doug?
Thank you, Speaker Nick. A couple announcements here. First Senator of the Month for the month of March. Clerk West, thank you. Clerk West will pass out slips of paper. Please write one of the following names that former Speaker Wilson and I came up with for this month. So we have Senator Schroffnagel, Senator Richardson, and Senator Purnell. Please write one of those names. The clerk will then bring those. Would you like me to?
You get to vote?
Of course.
I mean, I'm not the speaker.
Yeah. So that's a little Schroffnagel. There you go. Richardson.
That is not true.
Please write one of those names. You can vote for yourself. There is no monetary gain, unfortunately. We could. We have to
Give you a cake up.
go get a contingency request. I'm going to go $1,000 out every month.
I'm going to bring it before
Mr. Speaker, I have a couple more announcements as well. If you'd like. A special thank you, as always, to Dean of Students Tanya Schmidt for staying with us so late this evening. Tanya, I don't mean to put you on the spot. How long is your commute home?
It is 55 minutes.
She has an hour to go home, so thank you for staying with us and braving the weather. Thank you very much.
Names on the sheet?
Our personal names?
No. Nope. You don't need your names.
Because it's not.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right, because
It's not.
Senator.
I have 5 more reports. Additionally, an extra special thank you to Kristen Philhauer, who's joining us tonight. It is her daughter's birthday this evening, and she's still joined us. So thank you to Kristen. I have one more announcement. If anybody needs a ride to their dorm or humble abode in the city of Whitewater, if you want to come find me at this meeting, I will give you a ride since it's raining. And I will not tabulate.
Two things. One is the link is right up here. Remember that we have a polling place on campus because student government fought for a polling place on campus, which means we've made a commitment to help with elections. They're all in 1-hour shifts, starting as early as 6:15 a.m. with signs and setup. And everything is trained on the job, so you can do it. You can do it. Please sign up for at least an hour. And then the other thing is the staff in student activities and involvement is celebrating Jan's retirement with a retirement party on May 2nd. Details are to come, but you are all invited to join us for that event. It will not be in the center of Whitewater because there will be other festivities happening in the center of Whitewater. It will be somewhere else. I don't know what other festivities it could be, but we will not be there. So as long as you are interested in silver, I hope you'll join us.
Dr. Rose?
Academic Affairs is meeting tomorrow. This is probably the most important meeting for my career.
Okay, attention please. Okay. Alright.
No, it's fine. This academic affairs meeting is tomorrow. This is the most important meeting for those committee members to be at. So please show up and please have your nominees all set and ready. Thank you.
And then President Brownlee, the last announcement.
We do have a 2-way tie, and because Senator of the Month is not our standing rules and we make the rules, we're going to go ahead and award it to both. So our senators of the month are Senator Purnell and Senator Richardson. Congratulations.
For a motion to adjourn. Senator Lang. Motion to adjourn. It's been moved. Is there a second? Senator Reyes. Motion. Second. Second. Second.
A second.
I'll wait for voice vote.
Acclamation.
Call any opposed. John, you're at 9.
Hey, Doug.
Yes, you can,
No,
So I'll see it as a vote for me too.
It's exciting. It'll be the talking round. So it's like a fall draft and so it's like a fun way of
I bought a brand new suit. I spent $100 on it.
it's gonna be like we start
This was from.
Yep.
say that you're invisible.
Either, I got my friend.
yeah, I don't.
Thank you. How will that work?
Proud of you, Nick. Nick.
It's pretty boring and my car is not close
My doctor.
I can go down to the
No, actually, my friend, he said I did kebab. After dancing on heels, I went to
I got you, I got Marty. Next Marty.
Do you want to on?
No, there's something that I have.
If you need a ride, you hang around.
Please someone take that. I don't want it.
In front of the sugar government hall, yeah?
Hey, Doug, I have to go downstairs to the main area to get my stuff.
Okay, then I will find you in the office, okay?
All right.
The only reason that Parker mine.
You need a ride? Yeah, you last. You good? I'm at the city of Whitewater. Within the city of Whitewater, please. The music will be loud. That's the only problem I can. I can fit you in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're probably on our max.
Oh, because I'm not. Is this like something else? I don't know how big. I'm going tomorrow. Oh, yes. You ready? Get your reps in, please. There you go. Oh, I like that. That's weird. Okay. Let's get my car. No, it is. Sorry, master. So bad. Yeah, I'm sick.
He was senator of the month after me. To be fair.
That's pretty good.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I would really not like to walk in.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Isaiah.
Working on.
So I know for a fact that we gave like $446.
Those are both.
To me, that's the one that we could prove. So as long as that was there.
She actually pulled all the checks. And
It was actually
she
for COVID.
covered for the name.
So now it's
Oh.
She's like, I don't really care if you do this, but I did my due diligence. It's great.
So I don't know.
She'll look to see, and
I don't
there
know.
were there, and Justin's there were 5.
Good to see you, everybody. Have a good night.
So,
Good night.
so really, what?
I think it's really funny because I just celebrated too hard and I was so adrenaline filled I didn't even notice. And then I went for the first time since November and then real quick and I walked around for 15 hours jumping and running around the city of Virginia. So not feeling sending that out.
I think we can.
I was sat on a plane for 5 hours.
Kristen has to determine if she's just gonna make the decision or if she's gonna ask us to pull a committee together.
I think it's
But,
appropriate to ask for a recommendation. Right?
Oh my God, I have an
Coming up, reminder,
internship.
You're the name. You would like the committee.
Bubble around.
Oh, I
It could
know.
be
I have a
like
wedding in
keyboard
September.
instead of officers. It could be.
What a good night.
Right, because it can't be anybody who's paid. So it could be all the paid members.
Not happening.
Do it this year.
Or it
Well,
could be
my one in staff.
So then it's truly more.
I literally just put a clear coat.
I
on,
honestly
'cause
think
it's all
that
I
you
had
could
that
say,
would
Kristen,
fit like
these
all
are
my
the top
suits
two,
for the
and
weekend.
she would just pick them. But, I meet with her Thursday morning at 2:30, so I
Really
just
did
add
like
that to
3
my
a.m.
list of
plus,
things with
like,
her. Because Abby didn't get to.
Here, I'll show you the shoes that did it.
If that's okay, if you'd rather do it, then I can just try next week.
I just don't want her to go like, I know this person. But I don't think she will. But sometimes it's easy when you, especially when you're so high up.
Look at that.
You know, oh, I work with this student. I work with this student. You might have a hidden gem.
Well, we could do a blind. Doesn't have to.
I heard that there's a video of me reacting, and I know because it was a award that I had won because they were super stubborn chairs. So you would have to scoot back and stand up. I stood up, scooted back,
We can pull
and
together
turned
a committee of WSG people.
while
We can pull
jumping.
together a committee of.
So my knee hit the
captains.
table, and my
You can
body
read
was
all of them.
turned
That's
like 5
designed
minutes
ourselves.
and I ran
We
up
would
on the
like to do
stage
this,
on heels.
so.
Okay, I will let you know what she
Oops.
says. It's a half-an-hour meeting about big
Celebrated
stuff.
2
So I always have like, you know,
I did not know it
moments
was
before.
raining. I know
after
it's
the
snowing
meeting
tomorrow.
to say.
It's snowing.
No.
Again.
Yeah, I was told it's supposed to snow. It's supposed to snow tomorrow, but we're gonna do it early today. Or later this weekend. People are like, it's snowing. I don't know if that's true or not.
So Maddie said 2 weeks.
Hi Thomas, no, it's raining.
I got the
Change, it's just raining. Oh my, it's raining every day.
We build an extra week.
So like I would send it out, schedule
You got
it
it
for
done?
tomorrow at 8
Did you
a.m.
add it to the format I sent out?
And then
The like spreadsheet
if
that I
we're
sent
doing
out?
it building up 3 weeks in advance, then we would need it to be.
Or like 2.5 or.
I was thinking
I
give
saw
them
Caleb's
2
name
weeks
3
to fill
times
this
and another
out,
person's name
have it due
3
We'll talk about it
on,
all in the meeting.
we'll do Friday, April 10th.
Well, Thomas,
Or Monday, April 13th.
how's your major going for you?
And then we'll you think a week is okay for Kristen and the committee?
If she's on campus.
Yeah.
You missed
I like
Yeah,
that,
one
'cause even.
Because then it's a
we can
solid,
really help,
like,
a decision if we
yeah.
have to.
I think you
Just,
should.
I would like to have a chance to visit Africa.
16.
You wanna go? Does it say that it's the 4 countries? That he passed it.
Any country that like
We were talking about it being Isaiah.
meets my work.
Okay, got it.
As stated in section 12.4 of the WSG scholarship, Doug, are you listening?
Yep.
Is a prestigious award given to a current member.
Current
member.
Does say current.
It's good, yeah, it'll only be 14.
Oh, I did that one.
Oh my god, don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
So you
Then
could have them do.
it does say this scholarship represents the legacy of those who have served
I have to
or
redo it.
championed the Warhawk spirit.
I'll
and
redo
wish
it.
To recognize, oh yeah,
Yeah,
current
just make
member.
sure
Yeah,
that-
so it says it twice.
So you added it on the 10th, then whoever is reviewing can review them over the weekend. So
Yeah, I did, I finished,
Yeah, that's it.
best instructor in.
otherwise they're gonna be filling it.
Well, maybe if I have, I'm gonna have more free time this week, so yeah. Oh, maybe.
ACL dancing.
And then the total points, and then.
Celebrate.
all
I'm going
the
to-
points for that single.
I did that in softball.
Yeah, I was celebrated, then we
I thought I
danced,
had
and then
to
we ran
do
around the
all,
city.
I thought I had to do every single one.
No,
Just-
just.
I read all, I mean, I only did my category, but I made sure to read every single one.
I've
of my
never
categories.
You read all the
One's
nominations
pinky, yep,
for categories,
left
you rank
The other
all
one's my
nominations. and
I
then
have
you
it
add
up to my
the
toes.
big toe.
nominations to find
I got my.
I broke my left big toe.
In sixth
And I
grade.
had cancer.
Parking trucks, like standing like this in the car and right.
I'll do that again.
Killed all 5 toes.
Olivia, I have to, this will be more than I'll last 2 minutes.
That
because
sounds-
I
What
did
did
the
look
first
bad,
one.
but
Yeah.
it hurt.
So if
I think he used to be fine
so,
with it.
yeah,
Attendance of type number or something.
that's all.
Should I
You're not
say
like
it?
Larry
Football.
McCarron.
Yeah, I know the sign of it, and it was in football too. Got stuck in a face mask.
Oh.
So I think exactly how he did it.
That's very likely.
Football is a very dangerous sport.
But it's so fun that party.
Did you, oh, there was like
Yeah,
Australian
maybe.
football, did you see that one
Yes.
player who got his jersey ripped off?
I would. Because that's the one with the
I'm
fatter
good with these
footballs, right?
I don't know, but his jersey
I
came
am
off.
fully
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah.
And then Senator
Let's talk about
Prayer, I'm
rugby.
sending out.
It's
to.
different.
That's not
Yeah,
easy.
it's pretty good.
Don't worry, I had a favorite.
Referee is harder.
Hey, I have a TikTok going viral right now. You guys should all go like it. It's pretty fun.
I didn't know this.
If it's
Well,
not,
then
it's ready then.
Perfect.
I have the email.
I had, so there's two, I don't know how you guys did last year, but I had 2 rounds. One, everyone sends in their nomination.
Right now, let's not.
2 years ago. No, round 1 and round 2. Okay, well, we did round 1 and round 2.
It's the speaker's thing.
I mean, I was ready if you wanted to do the way I did it. You made the airport that needs to be sent out, like, ASAP.
Yeah.
It's Starbucks.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you want to
You can bring those to TSA.
Now I'm watching this really.
Okay. I suppose this is-
Yeah, they're 2 points.
An Australian football player, his jersey gets ripped off.
And we had to wait 5 hours because we got there early.
We gained 40,000 followers on Instagram.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Just before you start saying.
Can we go?
Alright, Prezi, are we ready?
Pressies. Thank you, Kim.
Oh, of course.
10th grade, 12th grade. That's basically.
Yes, thank you. Is the WebEx still going?
You stop it, please, Emily.
Yeah, I don't.
6 months. So you have